So, so Aadya, you are in NPS HSR in Bangalore.
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay. So tell me, what grade are you in?
11th.
11th grade. Okay. And what subjects do you have?
I took science and maths, so physics, chemistry, maths, biology, and English is, yeah.
PCMB.
Yes.
So you have the gold standard. Okay. And what is your academic sort of, potential? How much did you score in 10th?
In 10th boards, I got an average of 95%.
Okay, very good. And
I got 98 in science and English,
okay,
95 in socials, 94 in Sanskrit,
okay,
and 86 in maths.
okay. So maths is not the strength or something didn't go
No,
well in that exam?
usually I like maths. I'm pretty good at it. Just I don't know, this exam was kind of off, but I like maths a lot.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So just so we know, just so we are on the same page, what we are doing right now is a free consultation. It's my standard 10 a.m. every Sunday slot. So most things that I do now are pro bono. The company still does work for money, and my intention is to do as much free work as possible. I mean, not because you can't afford to pay, but largely because I want to use what our conversation is, what the learnings from this is for a larger audience, right? So we will be recording this. We will be putting it out there for more people to learn from. Yeah. So you're in 10th grade, CBSE, NPSHSR, Bangalore, PCMB. You've got questions about your journey, your career. You want to get into clinical research, is what you had mentioned in the form. So why clinical research, firstly?
Well, since I was young, I've always wanted to be a doctor, but now I have more of an inclination towards like behind the scenes kind of thing rather than a surgeon or a physician. So, and clinical research, I think it's a really great way. Like it's basically, it's like there's some benefit to society as well as doing. It's a stable job, and yeah.
Okay. So what do you understand by clinical research? What is your understanding of clinical research? Are your parents into it? What do your parents do?
My father works at a consulting company.
Which consulting?
Sorry, you had a question for me?
Yeah, no, I was just trying to understand the family. Where is the clinical research coming from? So what do you guys do, Puneet and Soumya?
I've basically an engineer.
Okay.
And I've been doing business consulting for a long time now, almost 20 plus years.
Okay.
For the last 10 of those 20 plus years, we've had a company of our own, which we've been running with 2 other partners. And that's the long and short of what I actually do.
Oh, great. Business consulting. And what about Soumya?
Yeah, I am at home. I'm a homemaker. But I have a commerce background. I think her science or inclination towards medicines come from more likely, her aunt is a doctor in the US. So I think she's quite inspired by her.
Okay. And this aunt is a Bua or Masi? Or? Bua. Okay. So Bua is a doctor in the US. And Aadya, are you an Indian citizen or US citizen?
Indian citizen.
Okay. So tell me, what do you think you want to do? So you want to do 11th and 12th PCMB.
Yeah. And then initially I was like last year and everything, I was thinking that I would go abroad, and directly, not US, because US medical system is like super long. So I was thinking more of UK. But then now I've started kind of shifted my perspective to NEET UG, then normal MBBS degree, because I want to keep my options open. Maybe if I want to go to pathology or so it can branch out. So I'll probably do MBBS, and then after that I'll do a specialty degree, maybe abroad or Yeah.
Okay. So you want to do NEET, you want to do MBBS in India, and then you want to see whether it's clinical research or you want to see patients or you do surgery or whatever.
Yeah, I'm looking at maybe a specialty degree after that.
Okay. 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 So let's say you do MBBS and then you want to get into clinical research.
Yeah.
So in your mind, what are the next steps there? I'm just trying to understand how much do you know?
Yeah, for me, I don't want to do directly clinical research after MBBS. I want to maybe go abroad, maybe UK, for like a specialty degree. There are specialty degrees like in Oxford for clinical pathology and all those type of things. I want to do something like that. That's a span of I think it's about 4 to 5 years. I think no 3 to 4 years, something around that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's say you go to Oxford and do this post your undergrad study in the UK or wherever. Then do you want to work in UK? Do you want to work in the US? Do you want to work in India? Where do you want to do clinical research?
I prefer to work in India or UK, not the US, but I prefer to work in India mostly, I think. I want to work in India.
Okay. And in terms of clinical research itself, what part of it interests you? Or the second part of the question is, what is your understanding of what is clinical research?
Okay, the part that interests me the most is probably like cancer, genetics, something along those lines, cancer research. And what I understand by clinical research is basically it basically works at prevention it works at prevention as well as also manufacturing medicines to like ease symptoms and help cure diseases.
Okay.
So it's the.
Okay. And my last question, hopefully, after which I will stop quizzing you. I will let you quiz me. My last question is, do you know of any companies in India which are into clinical research?
Tata is there, Tata Research.
Hmm.
I think that's the one that I know of.
Okay. Okay. So now let's get into more sharing information and a conversation. So clinical research is of a couple of kinds. One is where clinical research is a part of drug discovery. So it's a late stage process of drug discovery, right? You start off by saying, okay, we need to identify a new drug for cancer or antibiotic or whatever, and people work in the labs to come up with the drug that will work. And then you come up with a drug, and then it's tested on animals, and so on and so forth. And then that's the clinical research stage. That's one kind of clinical research, where now that drug has to be tested on people, right? The second is the larger umbrella of clinical research, right? Where you're working for Tata's or Tiles or Biocon as a part of the overall research team, right? Not necessarily clinical research on humans, but the overall research team, right? And we're on the same page here.
Sorry?
Understand what you see?
Yeah, I understand.
Are we on the same page? I mean, your understanding is similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, any career, if you ask your dad, he does business consulting. Did he start off his journey saying, I will do business consulting, hence I should do engineering? Most probably not. Right? It's a similar thing for a lot of people in clinical research. Right? They didn't start off saying, I will do clinical research. They started off saying, so there are engineers involved in clinical research. There are doctors involved in clinical research. There are data analysts involved in clinical research. And that's why I was trying to understand what angle of clinical research interests you. It's clear that the medical part interests you. The other thing that I commonly see a confusion in is people's desire to get into a career versus people's desire to be successful. Right? Sometimes the passion to go into something is so high to say कुछ भी हो जाए मुझे clinical research ही करनी है, right? Versus sometimes people say no, look, I also want to be rich, and if it's easier to be rich by doing engineering or by doing business and then becoming an investment banker, or then I will do that, right? And if you were already a medical student, I will not have this conversation because you're still in like high school. The reality is that the world is open to you. And not just subjects, the subjects you've taken makes every option open, right? Because you've taken the gold standard, PCMB. Now, if you said PCM, to bio nikal gaya. If you go into an international curriculum and say PBM, to phir chemistry nikal gaya. You know, so, but you've got it all. You've got physics, chemistry, math, bio, so सब कुछ cover हो गया. So you can do engineering, you can do medicine, you can do clinical research, you can do law, you can do design, you can do music, you can do anything, right? So the world is open. So one is, it's worthwhile for you to create a direction which you have sort of created कि मैं medicine करूँगी. Now, for everyone who says कि मुझे medicine करना है, my question always is, what's your plan B? Right? Because it's just, I'm not saying you'll not get into AIMS to do medicine or St. John's to do medicine. I'm saying the competition is just so insane that anybody who wants to do medicine, my words of advice or words of caution are as follows. One, it is a long academic journey. मतलब आपको बीकॉम करना है 3 साल में इंडिया में हो जाएगा, आपको इंजीनियरिंग करनी है 4 साल में हो जाएगी, आपको मेडिसिन करना है कहीं पर भी 10 साल की पढ़ाई है. Right? So are you okay with that?
I'm fine with that because I really like studying and I like studying biology. So
what about chemistry?
Chemistry also I'm fine with. Biochemistry also very interesting.
So the world of medicine is as much chemistry, if not more, as it is bio. Right? And especially when you go into the clinical research part, it's a lot of chemistry and chemicals and salts, and because you're dealing with medicines. So anyways, back to my words of caution for people who want to do medicine. One is, it's a very long journey. So you really need to be passionate and enjoy studying. I'm not saying you're studying 12 hours a day, 18 hours a day, but studying anything should not be a chore, should not be, "Yare padhna padega, kya karoon, to bada mushkil hai." You know, you should be like thriving in that academic environment because that's what you got to do for the next, 8-10 years. What else do you like to do? Do you like to sing? Do you like to dance? Do you like to watch movies? Do you like to...
I dance. I've done both Carnatic and Hindustani, singing and dancing together. And hobbies wise, I like photography.
Okay.
And I play sports as well, yeah.
Okay. And you've had seniors, so NPS HSR, who have gone and done medicine. Do you know them? Do you know?
From this batch, NEET just happened, so I don't think the results have come out yet.
No, I mean 3-4 batches earlier. People who have done medicine or who are like in their 3rd year, 4th year.
I don't know people from NPS HSR, no.
Okay. So it is from anywhere. It is worthwhile to speak to some people who have been through the journey, who have spent 3 years, 4 years, or completed medicine, and understand what does this look like, right? How much effort is required? How much study is required? It's very good to be optimistic. It's the biggest strength you can have. It's bad to be pessimistic, but it's ideal to be realistic, right? So there are people who get into medicine and then drop out after 3 years because, oh, this is too much, I can't do this. You clearly don't seem to be that kind. You're very clear, very consistent in your answers. You clearly want to do medicine. You like bio, you like chemistry. So hopefully it should work out well for you. But still, we cannot build our future plans purely on optimism. So thoda sa realistic angle लाना चाहिए. So it will be good for you to speak to some people who have recently gone through this journey. So that is one advice. The second is, what happens if you don't crack college in your first attempt? That is a very real option. I've seen toppers of NPS, toppers of DPS. What happens if you don't crack a good college in your first attempt? What's your plan B? Do you have any thoughts? And it's okay if you don't have right now.
I don't have a clear thing, but I think maybe then if not NEET, then maybe I'll try going abroad for there they have like a 3-4 year undergraduate degree. Yeah, in
So
either
UK
general
basically.
medicine or just direct. There's some specialty medicine you can do.
Okay. So here are the things that people normally do as plan B, and here are the things which you can do, but then you need to plan and it's not easy to do. So the things that people normally, the most common thing is people apply for medicine and also apply for a BSc. BSc in bio, BSc in chemistry, BSc in biochemistry, BSc in pharmacology, BSc whatever. Because naturally जो medicine के लिए apply कर रहा है वो bio. Mostly बच्चे क्या करते हैं, आद्या के medicine NEET का exam लिखते हैं, and along with that they apply for a BSc somewhere, whether it's in Delhi University, St. Stephen's, or it's Christ in Bangalore, or some college in Bombay, whatever. I mean, people who are applying for medicine hopefully are good academic students. So they also apply for BSc in good colleges and hopefully they get something. So now you have tests for that also. But that's the most common thing. Majority do that. The second most common thing is I'll take a gap year, I'll repeat. Just because medicine is such a hyper competitive thing, it is very, very common for people to repeat. Right? People repeat for engineering also, but कम है. Because engineering में फिर भी decent colleges बहुत हैं. Medicine में नहीं है. So medicine में people, if they don't crack their dream college, then repeat में शुरू हो जाता है. So that's again a very common thing. The third is people look at going abroad. Now abroad में issue क्या है कि US में medicine is anyways a master's degree. So undergrad में medicine है नहीं. You need to do pre-med for 4 years. Then apply for med school. तो वो बड़ा लंबा journey है. So that's a tough one. UK में you can, but getting into a good college in UK in medicine is very, very hard. So then people do UK, Ireland. I mean, they have their own entrance exams. So then you are doing BMAT, UK CAT, whatever, other exams to write for UK. So then people apply to Royal College of Surgeons in Dublin in Ireland, or people apply to whatever colleges in UK. So that's another option. So UK, of course, it's an undergrad degree. So UK, Ireland, you can do undergrad in medicine. So that's another option. But then for that, again, you need to prepare. Because it is not just the entrance exam, they'll also interview you. And they want to see that focus on medicine. They want to see internships in medicine. They want to see a research paper. They want to see your academic strength. They want to know that you are like 100% behind medicine. Basically, it is not so easy to crack abroad. It is not just a plan B. That also requires a lot of effort, is the point I'm trying to make. But it's definitely an option, right? So having said that, we've had students who have done medicine in India. I mean, we haven't helped them in doing medicine in India, but there were students who go abroad, but then did medicine in India, were also applying in India, and then stayed in touch. So it is also useful to speak to students who are doing MBBS in India, because my learning has been, it is insanely tough, especially so I would say speak to multiple people who have done medicine, doing medicine, at least third year onwards, right? If somebody's just joined, though, they won't know too much, right? But a fresh MBBS or somebody in third, fourth, fifth year will definitely be very useful. So those are my words of caution for anyone wanting to do medicine. You need to think about it. It's absolutely fine and respectable if the whole family says you want to take a gap year. It's absolutely fine and respectable if you say my plan B is BSc. It's absolutely fine if you say I want to go abroad. For abroad, you need to do some things. So that's a different angle. But you can get into clinical research after BSc also. That you, I'm sure, know.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I know somebody who was an engineer MBA and was the CEO of Quintiles in India. Do you know Quintiles?
No.
So Quintiles is a very big drug discovery company, right? And they're one of the world's largest, US headquartered, multi-billion-dollar company, have an office in India, and used to about 8-10 years ago used to have maybe 8 to 10,000 people in India, so large company. And their India CEO was an engineer MBA. So the point I'm trying to make is that the career is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not कि MBBS किया थोड़ा सा भागे clinical research शुरू हो गया and you become successful. You can do multiple things and get there. You can do medicine and get there. You can do engineering and get there. You can do a math degree and data analytics and get there. You can do BSc and get there. There are many ways to get there at senior enough levels, right? So the question is, what path interests you? So clearly, it seems that medicine interests you. Medicine is the path that interests you. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
And you're also okay अगर medicine करने MBBS करने के बाद you don't do clinical research if you get more interested in just practicing medicine.
Yeah.
That's probability. And you're quite open to that. Am I right?
I look into that. Just practicing medicine and not do clinical research.
Yeah, I keep it the option open. That's why I'm
Keep the
doing
option.
things.
Okay, good. So then clearly your next steps are quite clear, right? Medicine karna hai. Now the only thing you need to think about is kahan se karna hai, kaise karna hai. I'll give you statistics again, not to scare you, but to do a reality check and to also show you how much effort is required. At Spark, we have now spoken with or we have worked with 1 lakh, exact number, but I think 1,23,000 or something in the last 10 years, students. If we speak to 100 students who say, I want to do medicine in 10th, 11th, one of the 100 actually go and write the exam. The others in that prep period drop out. And so that's one word of caution, that stick to your goal. You will speak to people. Are you doing any coaching somewhere for NEET?
For 11th grade, I'm not doing any coaching. I'm doing private tuition for maths and chemistry and physics. But 12th, I'll probably join a coaching. But for 11th, right now, I'm just... Sorry?
The coaching for NEET?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So in your coaching, you will meet people who will say कि मैं तो 9 से कर रहा हूँ और अब मैं drop out कर रहा हूँ. So there will be people who will tell you कि Aadya, you come yesterday, you don't know, ये बड़ा मुश्किल game है, मैं तो drop out कर रही हूँ या कर रहा हूँ. So 40% people who start NEET coaching drop out. They don't pursue it at some stage. So one thing to be careful about is don't get carried away. If you want to do it, then you do it. Because people are dropping out doesn't mean you have to drop out, right? The second is these coaching institutes will tell you don't focus on 12th. Naturally, if you have to crack NEET or JEE or something, they will say कि NEET पे focus करो. 12वीं के मार्क्स तक कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. If you're preparing for NEET, तो 12th में तो आपके 90% आ ही जाएंगे. है ना? तो 12th के ऊपर फोकस मत करो, स्कूल को भूल जाओ. Focus on NEET. And that is not the wrong advice if your focus is only NEET. But if you also want to keep BSc as plan B, then your overall study, your 12th marks, your preparation for CUET, depending on where you want to do BSc is important. If you also want to keep UK as a plan B, then then different things have to be coming in. So you have to become that person, and maybe you are already that person, who's got a plan of her own. And who has all these resources that you're using. So I'm a resource you're using. Your NEET coaching center is a resource you're using. NPS HSR and Shefali Tyagi are a resource you're using. Your physics, math, bio teacher is a resource you're using. Right? And everybody might drive you in a direction. I might say, Aadya, chodo tum internship karo. Or I might say, Aadya, you go do a research paper, because they'll get you into a UK college. Everybody is driving you in different directions. So you need to take that information, internalize it, and make your own plan. What works for you will not work for somebody else. So you got to make a plan that works for you. The issue is that in life, many times, not just in coaching or studying, many times you become very passive. इसे मैं तो NPS HSR में हूँ, अच्छे स्कूल में हूँ, स्कूल will do everything, मैं तो सक्सेसफुल हो ही जाऊंगी. अब मैंने आकाश ज्वाइन कर लिया है, आकाश अच्छा होगा तो मैं क्रैक कर ही लूंगी. Right? So we become passive. And that's where there is a death of a good career. Right? So we have to be active. Right? Some people are sitting in a train and saying, जहाँ ट्रेन जाएगी चला जाऊंगा. Next station पे खाना मिलेगा तो खा लूंगा, नहीं मिलेगा तो नहीं खाऊंगा. And some people are saying, I want to drive my own train. I know where I want to get to. I will take information from my parents, from my counselors, from my mentors, from my teachers. Okay? But I will drive it where I want to drive it. So that's who you have to become, because this is a tough journey. Right? So you have to use your coaching institute, you have to use your school, you have to use parents, you have to use tutors, and get as much information as you can, internalize it and use it. Okay, now, how much effort do you put into this? How many hours do you study every day?
Well, currently it's my summer vacation. My school is starting on Thursday. So currently I'm in the prep stage. So I'm making like notes, and I'm making like these kind of sheets for like with like the information summarized. And my tuitions are going on. So well, once school starts, probably I'll revise once the chapter is done, and then before exams, I already have a plan, like a set schedule. So for exams for school exams, basically.
But my question is different. My question is, how much do you study? How many hours do you put into studying?
I don't have a fixed rate. It depends.
Approximately.
It can range from, well, including school, like excluding school and classes, it's probably 2 hours, 3 hours.
Excluding school and classes, okay. On the weekdays.
Yeah.
And weekends?
Weekends probably a little bit more. And we also have homework from school, like CBSE gives these projects, so that also.
Yeah, NPS gives a lot of projects, a lot of record work.
Yeah.
Record keeping, which all students crave about. But it needs to be done. Okay, so, people ask me how much hard work is enough hard work. And it depends on how well do you want to do. You an unreal level of confidence. Right, and that's because 10th is an easy year. Academically, 10th across boards has been made easy. Okay, and there is a reason for it. 10th has been made easy because it helps us boost our literacy levels of the country. 10th is also easy in international curriculums, because if you look at UK, US, Europe, in these countries, a lot of people don't study after 10th. They go to vocational programs. They become carpenters, electricians, plumbers, drivers, right? those vocational countries. So 10th curriculum across the world has been kept easier. The jump between 10th and 11th is not a few percentage points more, it's many times more. The difficulty level will grow significantly. I guarantee you by the middle of 10th, by the middle of 11th, you will look back at 10th and say it was a child's play. I was fussing for no reason. This is real study. So 11th is a very, very difficult year. Okay. So hence the volume, the number of hours required is very high. The second is complete your full year portion 3 times. The fourth is create a structure that works for you, where you don't burn out. Right? So you might say as a family that, okay, every Sunday evening we'll sit together and watch a movie. I don't know what works for you, or maybe you need to do a dance, a performance, or maybe you like to listen to music, maybe you like to paint. But you need to, 11th and 12th will be stressful. So you need to almost build in the structure some stress busters, whatever they are, whether once a week, twice a week, once a month, whatever works for you. There are no perfect answers. So extreme academic rigor, extreme focus and dedication, extreme sacrifices, and luck will all come in handy. So, you're clearly very smart, you are very driven, very focused, but the gap between good to great is massive, right? Many people are good, but to be great, you have to be mad, right? If you're not mad about greatness, you will not achieve greatness, right? They say people who change the world are people who believe they can change the world, right? So if you say, I'll be successful, but also watch some Netflix and also have some friends and also go from some birthdays and also party a little bit and also watch reels once in a while and also do, whatever else, have fun stuff, then it is difficult. If you say, I have to crack NEET, if I can do everything else, it's fine. If I can't, it's fine. But this is a do or die. Food, clothing, shelter, breathing, and NEET. Right? Today it's food, clothing, shelter, and Wi-Fi, or rather Wi-Fi, food, clothing, shelter. Right? So if you say NEET first, everything else later, then you will crack it. Success depends on how badly do you want it. The problem is most people don't want it really bad. They also want success. When you want it really bad, you get it. Nobody can stop it. So the question is, how bad do you want success? What all are you willing to sacrifice for success? And are you doing it for yourself or doing it for somebody else? Are you passionate about it? Or are you doing it because it'll get you glory or your parents want it or somebody else? Right? So I will stop this lecture now, otherwise you'll get bored. And see if you have any more questions. And yeah.
I have one question.
Sure.
One about NEET. What exact? I know NEET is the NCERT portions of 11th and 12th. So what exactly do I do in 11th right now for NEET? Like what should I know in 12th? That's why I start doing test papers. So right now, what do I do?
So do 2-3 things. One is excel in bio and chemistry. Second is look at past papers for NEET online. You will get some past papers. Go through them, even attempt them. The idea is not to crack them, but get an idea what kind of questions are there, what is the format, what is the level of depth and detail in the questions. Third is YouTube has a lot of NEET material. So again, in that stress buster time, watch those videos. And that's it. Otherwise, you will, most probably need to go for some coaching, and how much do you depend on the coaching and how much on yourself will be up to you, but they will give you the content and build a structure for you. Right? But it's largely bio and chemistry is what you need to go after.
My question was because she's not joined any academy this year, because we just thought we just take it as it comes, we just start. So I sometimes think will she be losing out? You know, as you said, there are people who start early, and because we thought probably she should just focus on the subjects now and just take it, and then next year join the academy to know how to, because join crack the papers, and they give you a lot of sheets and all the revision happens. So I'm not sure whether it's the right thing to do or what. I'm not sure about that.
So many people start the prep in 9th. There are some people who start in 12th, but the majority starts at this time. They start at the beginning of 11th. So it's wrong for me to use the word ideal, because there is no ideal time, but it is sort of the ideal time to start now. But it's, like I said, ideal is a very dangerous word, but it's the most common time to start now. It gives you enough time to do it. It will largely be bio and chemistry. And if you're doing NEET prep well, school ka to ho hi jayega. People who are doing NEET, JEE, these kind of preps well, they do well in school. They're not, but they need to become smart. You need to use the resources. Don't let them drive you. You drive them. And like I said, a lot of people drop out of NEET. So will she be able to crack it? If she does coaching for a year, she'll get that hang of it. Either then she can go after it or go after something else. Then do 12th well and do BSc well, or prepare for UK and go to UK, or but if you only do the coaching in 12th, the risk is that by the end of 12th, now there is no time to do anything else. Right? So she has to write NEET, she has to crack it. At this time, there are books available she can buy, she can start preparing on her own. She can speak to seniors who've done it, they can give her the books. So preparing on her own is not an issue. There is a percentage of people that crack NEET by self-prep. Again, I don't know her, so it's wrong for me to say she can do it or she can't do it. She seems like a very sincere girl. So I would like to believe she can do it. But the issue with any prep, whether it's JEE or NEET or CLAT or CA, is not the content. It's the structure. It is somebody holding you accountable. And parents struggle to do that because they have other battles to pick. So when you go to a coaching place, they say, ab ye karna hai, to thoda sa structure aa jata hai. And there is somebody holding you accountable. You need to do some homework. There is a test. So that is the larger benefit of a coaching institute. It's not the content. Content is available. You can go to a bookstore, Sapna bookstore, and they will give you the books. YouTube has material. Online coaching academies have material. The other is look at online program this year. Some of these companies will also do online programs. You can also do some online, or some coaching institutes I know allow you to sit through some classes. So just, as a test, just sit through a week of classes or 2-3 days of classes and see what you think about it. So I'll repeat, the content is not the issue. Content is available, books are available. But to study on your own that heavy material without somebody holding you accountable, if you're very driven, you can do it. But I don't know that. So if your mom can hold you accountable and you can report to her for it, you need somebody to report to. It could be your aunt who's a doctor, it could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your cousin, it could be a tutor. But somebody who says, "Hey, Aadya, you're going very slow. Aadya, now you're going too fast. Aadya, aaj test karte hain. Aadya," somebody who keeps your structure in play will be required. When you get something wrong, that doesn't mean you're not smart enough. It means थोड़ी effort और डालनी है, बस. Right? So एक तरफ structure बनाओ, rigor बनाओ, दूसरी तरफ stress buster बनाओ. वो जो कुछ भी है, whether it's a movie with the family or it's a meal out or it's watching a show or music or reading a book or a dance or whatever. But the two have to run in parallel, otherwise you'll burn out. And people burn out and students become so insecure, they don't tell their parents or anybody, but they know I'm not going to crack it. And they're just putting half effort and life chal rahi hai, jaake exam liख दिया, हो गया, देखी जाएगी. Right? That's of no use. Right? You've got supportive parents, you're in a good school, you're a good student. So make sure you are the driver of your journey. You know, one way to think is कि 15 लाख 20 लाख लोग लिखेंगे एग्जाम. Second way to think is कि 15-20 हजार क्रैक भी तो करेंगे. I will be a part of those 10,000. If 10,000 can crack, I can also crack. So think positively, but also have a plan B. Don't build plans only on optimism. So have a plan B, whether it's BSc, gap year, abroad, whatever you want, whatever works for you. No plan is wrong, no path is wrong.